G'day, it's another beautiful day here at AFQY home base in the Viaduct, and I've got a very special guest who I'll introduce in a second. But what I wanted to share with you is that this man on my left, I've known him for probably just over 10 years, and you'll hear a little bit later on about how he grabbed me by the scruff of the neck recently, and that's essentially why this video is being recorded and what we're talking about. So without stealing all his thunder, I'll introduce Rudi Hefer here, good mate of mine. But Rudi, if you could tell the people about the business, the kids, the cat, and the wife.
Very good.
Yeah.
So my name's Rudi Hefer. I'm the Director of Product Sales and Marketing at Solarix Networks.
Is that your wife?
No. I am a father of two, husband of one, I believe.
Yeah.
And obviously a very passionate supporter of AFQY. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to have you here. And so the little story is that the CIO Summit Awards, when I was doing the blogging, I was maybe standing at the bar, and
no, you were standing at the bar.
You were standing at the bar,
yeah.
And next thing I get a bit of a scruff on the back of the neck, and going, "Hey, I want to help you. I want to sponsor this AFQY and help you get things rolling." And the CIO Summit Awards was quite a while ago. Obviously, we've had the first one in Auckland, and we've got the next one coming up on August the 10th. But Rudi sponsoring Auckland, Hamilton, and the One-Eyed Cantabrians down in Christchurch, which we'll see soon, which leads me on to rugby teams. With an accent like that, sir, it's Springboks versus All Blacks on August the 16th, and I happen to be going. But which accent's strongest for you? The All Blacks or the Springboks?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I do call New Zealand home.
Yeah.
So the answer on that has to be pretty obvious, doesn't it? My blood is black, my friend.
Good man, good man. Are we allowed to talk about what your family member, your affiliation to, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So Kylie is actually not only an avid rugby supporter, but she played 52 games for the Welsh national women's team as the captain.
Holy moly!
So very, very often the most knowledgeable person around the table when it comes to.
So
rugby.
when you don't do the dishes, mate, you literally get smashed in the tackle.
I get tackled down the corridor. Yep.
Nice one. Cool. Oh, that's awesome. And the kids?
Ethan and Ada, 2 and 4 years old. They keep me very busy.
So not quite into the rugby level yet, but perhaps who knows what they'll do. Whatever they do, they'll enjoy.
Ethan does a fine haka.
Absolute
fine haka. Yep.
Oh, we have to get that for one of our videos.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, tell me about your business. Tell me about Solarix. This is the big blue logo on all the paraphernalia you see me posting on LinkedIn and whatnot. This is the man behind it. So Solarix.
Spot on. Hey, so I guess it really comes down to the fact that Solarix is a bespoke managed wide area network provider.
Okay.
We're the guys who tend to take on the work that no one else can do.
Ooh.
That
almost sounded South African. Yo, we're going to smash your scrum. Yeah, okay.
And then we go for a braai.
Okay.
So no, but in all fairness,
so what would be something in that space? What's one of the tough stories? Leave all the names out.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a client very recently down in Canterbury who had a real requirement in building a disaster recovery solution between two locations, Christchurch and Timaru. Everybody said that the time in terms of latency that they needed to replicate data simply couldn't be done, and we proved everybody wrong.
Well, they were happy about being proved wrong.
It's all about, so you know, and just to draw an analogy here, a few quiet yarns is about sitting down and having conversations.
Yeah.
What we did is we sat down with the customer and understood exactly what they were trying to achieve, and there was a real business problem in latency and replication. The difference with Solarix is we have relationships with everyone. So the big thing for us was to be able to sit down with multiple fiber companies and say, hey, how do we get you guys to work together? And in this instance,
that's very AFQY.
In this instance, a fiber company in Ashburton and a big fiber company with a logo that happens to start with a C brought these parties together, and between the two parties, we actually found a solution that really worked for the client.
Fantastic.
Very unique, very unusual for wide area network providers to be bringing parties together like that, but ultimately a great outcome for the customer.
Well, I didn't even realise that there was this story behind what your company does and how closely it relates to what AFQY is about, and that's both of them is about bringing people together, having a few quiet yarns, a couple of briars,
absolutely,
and a lot of beers, or not, maybe just a few beers. So, what have we got left to talk about? Because that's a pretty outstanding story, and we'll let people think about that. But the next one is what's the coolest thing in tech you've seen in the last week or month? You can sort of choose, but there's lots happening around the world. and no one's actually said the Hadron Collider, or what is the thing that Elon Musk is doing. But what do you think? What's the coolest thing in tech?
What is the coolest thing in tech that I've seen? Probably being able to power homes infrastructure with micro batteries, as an example. The Elon Musk type environment, where he's saying, look, renewable energy, renewable power sources, reducing carbon emissions, really narrowing your carbon footprint. I find that particularly relevant. I heard old Lucy Lawless talk on the radio yesterday about the reality that, and she's very much involved with Greenpeace, obviously.
Yeah, well, she was just chained to a boat somewhere in the middle of somewhere around the world.
Yep.
Good on you, warrior princess.
Yeah. But that was disturbing. But that really is, and she spoke about the reality that that environmental impact will have an impact on our lives and our generation.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty profound. So anything tech that reduces our damage to the environment is pretty close and dear to my heart.
Well, coming back to, is it Ethan and
Ada? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the world they're going to live in is going to be reasonably different, and I think there's one person in the world who's our biggest problem that someone needs to tackle, and that's Donald Trump. He pulled out of the climate warming thingamajiggy, whatever the correct name is, but basically it's the 20 big countries that have signed up to reducing all the CO2 emissions, and he's turned around and said, no, we're not doing it. And it actually really annoys me that anyone says it's too expensive. How expensive is a life? It's you can't even put a dollar figure beside one life, let alone the millions of lives that something like that could affect in the future. But we all see stuff on movies, and that's what the coolest thing in tech question is all about, because stuff that we used to see in Star Wars as kids 30 years ago, we're doing now and enjoying. So yeah, there was something you said in your first point around this, sustainability in the batteries. So if I'm not wrong, at least the only company I'm aware of that is doing this is Vector, and they've got a partnership, I believe, where they've at least got the Tesla batteries, and are putting a program out there so that you can, I think the obvious thing is you can buy power when it's cheap, save it to your battery, and when power is expensive, you use the power off your battery. And I guess if you wanted to go whole hog, you'd have a redundant battery which is fully charged at all time in case the lines went down and whatnot. But there's a lot of cool stuff happening in that space. Kevin Angland has got a whole bunch of stuff happening at Mercury, and they've got those lovely yellow electric bikes. And just to talking about tech, I've been trying to get Roger Jones from Auckland Transport along to this, and he's politely busy all the time. But as a person who lives in Te Atatu South, I don't know where you live, but I now drive in from Te Atatu South all the way along Te Atatu Road, get on the motorway and into the city, and it used to be a nightmare. So the NZTA, which does the motorways, and Auckland Transport, which does the roads off the motorways, have now fixed the problem. And I think I had the slowest drive in today, which was something like 20 minutes that I've had in the last few weeks, whereas it used to be an easy 40 minutes.
Should get an electric bike.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Or a Tesla battery. Don't know where you'd put the battery.
Well, the battery's the size of a fridge or so, but the bike definitely. Yeah, definitely. So now we've got the AFQY home base. You come down here, I'll organise the coffee. Won't always shout it, but the idea is if I can cycle into work and not have to drive away around the city, then I'd definitely do it.
I'd like to see you cycle home after a couple of beers.
Yeah, well, that's still illegal if you're on the road. we don't promote anything like drink driving or drink cycling. But hey, let's wrap it up. What's your prediction for the September 16th game?
All Blacks 12 and over.
Yeah. So what about the Lions piss bowling the Canes? Sorry, all my Canes mates, but I say that lovely term piss bowling, which I learned from my father, which is in regards to that prop that just smashed through them. Our guys all seem to run upright, get caught and held up, whereas those guys got great body position and but the Lions did it. They beat the Canes.
Punched through, didn't they?
Yeah. So what happens if the Lions do it to the Crusaders?
Yeah.
What will happen to the All Blacks?
They're a bunch of big fellas.
Yeah.
And there's a risk of it. So you asked me about the Lions Crusaders game, not the Bledisloe Cup coming up.
Well, the Lions and whatnot all sort of feeds in, because it's sort of like almost like the curtain raiser.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a hairy one.
Yeah.
It certainly is going to be a hairy one. Speaking of hairy ones.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes. Okay. So is there a score? What's the score?
12 and over. 12 and over
12 and over.
Crusaders. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And the All Black Springboks?
12 and over.
12 and over. Okay. All right. How many yellow cards? And not necessarily that they're justified, just that the ref will call it.
Yellow. I don't think there'll be a yellow card in the final, but there will be a yellow card in the first bladder line. Yep.
And you think anyone will lose a tooth?
Oh, they always lose teeth. They just don't tell you about it.
All right, mate. Well, look, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for checking in with us, Rudi.
Brian,
Pleasure.
always a pleasure. Thank you
Cheers.
very much for having me.
Have a good day, everyone.